Today, we're looking at a very interesting piece of software. One that's an all-in-one package for interior designers. It's a drawing tool, a modeling tool, a rendering tool, and it's also capable of producing construction information in plan, section, and elevation. It's also a piece of software that I think has one of the shallowest learning curves I've ever come across. It's so simple and it's so intuitive, and you'll be amazed at the quality of the visuals you end up with. You don't need any background or experience in rendering.
So if you're someone who is, I think, starting out, I think this is a great starter, beginner bit of software. If you're starting out in interior design or interior architecture, and you want a piece of software that will get you up to speed with producing drawings and visuals in a matter of probably just a few hours, then this is the one for you. So the product is called Kuhan, and what they're claiming here is that it's an alternative to some of the bigger players, your SketchUps, Revit, AutoCAD and things like that. I think that's a fair comment. But all I would add to that is I think it's more geared towards beginners. I think, as I say, I think it's a great tool for getting started, and it's a lot more cost effective than having all those bits of software as well. And if we just look at the homepage here, we're seeing some options. You can draw, you can model, you can export to CAD, PDF, JPEG, PNG, all that sort of stuff. And the way you produce drawings is very straightforward, and it's not too dissimilar to like a Revit, where you're dropping a door in, you're dropping windows in, as opposed to drawing it all individually. So it is a very interesting piece of kit, and the guys at Kuhan have reached out to us. This is a paid partnership, if you like this video. They've granted us a pro license just for the duration of testing it and review it and all that sort of stuff. And on pricing, it's very, very reasonable. So there's a few options. They give you kind of one-off purchases or the subscription offer. So what they're saying is that the most popular one there, or seems to be the most popular, is a monthly subscription. So for just £23 a month, you've got an all-in-one package essentially that is going to do your drawings, floor plans, ceiling plans, internal elevations, and you can produce visuals, walkthroughs, videos, and so on. Like it really is a decent kind of all-in-one beginner tool. And then you've got other options. You can just pay for a single year, pay for a single month, or go on the two different subscription models. You've then got Pro, which comes with certain amounts of content, and then Elite is kind of the unlimited one. And again, that's just £29 a month. So I think that is very reasonable. So let me get logged in and set up, and I'll see it on the workspace side. Once you're in, you met with this dashboard, and there are loads of little tips and tricks. I've watched a few, to be honest. And the thing that got me really going and really understanding what this is all about, I actually downloaded a few of these example projects. And when you actually see the potential of this software through, really good finished products, then, it gives you that inspiration of what you can do on your own projects. So there's loads of other things. There's tutorials there, beginner's guide, and so on and so on. But let's just get straight into it. We go top right, create new, and then it loads the interface, your drawing area, if you like. And we want to go for new project, and we just want to go straight to draw. And to give me a bit of guidance, I'm using an existing drawing of mine from another project. And what I'm thinking here is that a good use case would be to then translate what is a very basic layout into something that is a little more detailed per unit type in terms of a more detailed layout, like a furniture plan, what have you, finishers plan, internal elevations, things like that, and obviously renders. So that could be within our architecture practice. We could use these individual room types or unit types and develop them. Alternatively, if you're an interior designer, you might receive something like this from the project architect, and then it's up to you to then develop these further. And one of the key drawings we love seeing from interior designers are internal elevations, because you get to really see the detail, even everything down to light switches, plug sockets, and so on and so on. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this as a guide. So let's just call that 11 by 5. So very easy. You just draw that in. It's actually not too dissimilar to Revit when you're drawing in 2D. Like so. And it automatically generates a room and adds dimensions. I quite like that. I do quite like the automation it has. Okay, and then we've got like the bedroom to the rear, central bedroom and storage. So let's just, what's nice is, again, like Revit, we can just slap the walls everywhere like this, and then we can adjust them afterwards. If you hold Shift and select, you can then select all them like so, and then set them to 100 mil. The default unit is millimeter, by the way. It's all kind of in metric. So it's not a bad starting point, but I think that bathroom is probably a little bit too big. So you can click on that and then you can actually change that dimension then. So let's do something like 2200, and then we can just grab that one, snap it like so. Probably move this down. Oh, it's not letting me grab it all. We'll see what the finish looks like in a moment. Anyway, there's the walls, dead easy. Then let's pop a door in. What I like to do is, in any program really, is just designate what the first one's going to be. So 9.1 is the width and the height is 2100. Thickness is fine. And then let's flip it like so. And then we'll go copy. And then for this one here, we'll copy as well. But the entry door wants to be a 1010. Like so. And it's just a case of clicking it. And then you can click and drag. Give that a 300 mil nib there. What's the distance from there? Let's do, yeah, 1200 is quite good. So that's nice. It's quick and it is accurate as well. We can also select the room and then change the room type. Bedroom. Where are we for bathroom? There we go. Storage. I like the way when you set it to bathroom as well, it kind of changes it to tiles. And then living room. Underneath though as well, you can then change it. So really it's kind of living, dining, kitchen, like so. That'll do. We can then add windows in very easily. And what I like to do at this point, I've had a couple of goes, obviously, a little bit of practice, is Let's match the head height to the door first and foremost, and set it so it's flush with the ground. That was kind of the design thinking really. And we'll go 910 again, maybe 1010 actually to match the front door. Then we can jump back to the floor plan and then copy that across. We've got 2 to the rear as well, so copy that there. These are more like 1800, nice size. Maybe not. Maybe go 1600. So there we are, dead simple. Oh, we've also got this extra bit of wall as well. Go back to floor plan. Select that, 100mm thick. Length wants to be 600 because that's where the kitchens go. Then what's really straightforward again is that we can add furniture very quickly. Now, this has got the option for modeling your own furniture, and there's all different import options and all that sort of stuff. But just for this video, just as an introductory kind of overview and a bit of a review, we're just going to work to the library, just keep it nice and snappy. So 3-seat sofas. Let's have a look. It's probably a bit too big. Or maybe they are a bit too big. I don't know what a love seat is. Maybe just... We'll include that, but we'll scale it down. We've got TV sets. Try and keep it as simple as possible. Something like that. It takes a little bit of getting used to because it's not your normal kind of interface like the standalone programs, but it's so quick. And personally, I'm not massively into these like photographic projections, but some are, and I actually think a lay client would actually appreciate that. I think it's a lot easier to read, but there's ways to export proper architectural drawings, but I'll show you that in a moment. Let's go to kitchen. And what I like about the kitchens is it gives you some nice standard, just straight runs of kitchens, and actually will slot into there. So let's just drag that one in. And what I've found with the kitchens is you're actually better off just dragging like that. Now you got to be careful because that looks so warped. But if we do something like that, we can get it in. Like that. And then it doesn't look warped then. It's actually perfect. Then we can go to, let's go to furniture and bed. And let's just demonstrate one more with popping a bed in there. So I don't want to be too precious. Maybe that one. Yeah. And then rotate that like so. So that's how easy it is to drop furniture in. Let me just repeat that process and just fill the rest of the layout, and then we'll move on to some other little tricks. So I've repeated those steps and added more furniture in. And just as a heads up as well, I do quite like the fact that when you get into like the categories, it's got all these like subcategories. So storage, you've got things like fireplaces, coat racks, chest of drawers and stuff like that. And if I go on the top view, So see down here, you've got 2D views and 3D views. And if we go on the top view, you can get a sense of how you're populating the space. And it just looks fantastic. Like, look at that. Like, how nice, and like it's so legible for a lay person. And you know, you do work with a lot of lay clients or less experienced clients. So I just think it's so accessible, this. If we go back to the floor plan, I wanted to just finish by demonstrating some of the bathroom assets. It's just that simple. Drag and drop. Sometimes it is a bit confusing as to which is which. And we've got like a secondary wall there, what's called like an integrated panel system. And it's actually quite simple to just go on floor plan, wall. It does automate a little room there. Set the thickness of that to 50 mil. And then we can actually drag that so it meets the end of the shower there. And then we could just call that room. You can just do a custom name and just do something like void. Then go back to bathroom, and then we'll do little toilet. And sink combo. The sinks live in vanities. I do like the design of some of these as well. Loads of ideas. Let's just do something. No, it's a bit big, isn't it? Some of them are massive. Let's just do something like that. We're not going to really take a render from here. That bathroom could probably afford to be a bit bigger, but I'm not particularly working to scale here, I suppose. But nonetheless, how quick is that? Like, it's just so straightforward. It is just a very very simple drag and drop system, and it's all online based as well. So no real weight on your computer. I think this is a great beginner piece of software for interior designers or interior architects who maybe they're struggling with software, they're struggling to learn, like a Revit, which does have a steep learning curve, or even like a SketchUp. They're just thinking, I just want something that just does a little bit of the thinking for me. This is absolutely perfect. Look at that. So we've got our model. What next? Well, suppose we could add a little bit of lighting. If you go into 2D, so before we do that, in 2D, you can actually view a ceiling plan. And let's go on like downlights. And let's add in. Let's see what that's looking like. Let's go back. Let's pick an individual one. Let's just do something simple like that. And we can then copy that down. Let's do something like that. And then look the way it snaps. Very good, that. So it keeps them equidistant. Oh, we got a snap there. There we go. So where are they positioned? What's our ceiling height? Oh, no, there they are. Okay. So that's brilliant as well that you can drop the ceiling lights in. And then in the 3D view as well, we can go to a walk mode, and you just use your mouse wheel and like left click, and you get a good sense of the space. As I say, that is just, it's brilliant the way even like some of these assets, they're all kind of like pre-staged. Normally when I'm doing like my visuals in like a SketchUp and a V-Ray or something like that, I'm having to individually add all the little bottles and the sink and stuff. So this doesn't half, you know, accelerate that. So let's go back to the floor plan and just explain some of the outputs, because this is, I think it's quite unique in that it produces the 2D information, it produces the 3D information, and you can get decent renders from it as well. So let's start with the 2D information. But before we do, one other thing I wanted to touch on was you can select the rooms and you can then select pattern over here and then change the finish. Alternatively, there is a little section called material and component, and it gives you just a slightly different view. And then you can actually go into the space and click and drag. So this is the space I prefer to use. And if we just type in like a wood, we've then got all these different floor types. And it's as simple as clicking once and then clicking again. And you can actually change the joints as well. So I've just gone for like a more of a chevron there. I actually don't mind the bathroom tiles as well. Let's like, I don't know, let's go for like a concrete. And we can even do like a concrete feature wall, something like that. Maybe that concrete wants to, go all the way through like that. Maybe that's just, an exposed structural wall or something. We then go back to DIY and it just takes us back to the kind of the floor plan area. So let me start with drawings, right? And there's two ways you can export drawings. There are other things like you can export like a bill of materials, and I do think there's like other ways of scheduling things as well. But we're just going to focus on drawings and visuals for now. So first things first, construction drawings. This is where you can drop your drawings onto a title sheet and change the scale, like as you would in an AutoCAD, Revit, and what have you. And what's nice is it automatically generates a series of floor plan views and a series of internal elevations as well. So we've got our main floor plan here, and it automatically sets it out. It's absolutely brilliant. The doors, the nibs, everything is set out. I think it's just taken a minute to load the furniture. Oh no, maybe that's, no, okay. So that kind of removes the furniture. Then you've got one with the furniture. And do you remember earlier when I mentioned about me, myself, I'm not a massive fan of the kind of the magazine-y cut-out furniture. Well, look at this now. This is like proper architectural drawing, proper architectural layout. Absolutely brilliant. We've got a reflected ceiling plan, which then shows our lighting positions. And then if we go on these elevation views, automatically set up. So we could set our kitchen out. We've got the wall that the dining chairs are on. There's not a lot going on there, obviously. We've got the elevation with the door and the windows. So you can dimension those things. I'd like to see a little dimension there just to pick up on the height of windows and things like that. And then so on and so on. We've got the bedroom, elevation A, and so on and so on. You can also, there's a little symbol section here. There we are, elevation index. So what I like about this is that where we've got like bedroom elevation A, B, C, and D, you can also export a drawing that shows you the call outs for each of those elevations. And again, that does take a little bit of time to, call all those views out in CAD and Revit and all that sort of stuff. So I again, at that level of automation is absolutely fantastic. So then, once you're happy with whatever drawing, let's do like furniture plan. You then go to drawing layout. And then what it does is it gives you a template draw sheet. And what it's telling us there is that the frame is A3 and the scale is 1:60. Now that isn't an architectural scale. So what you're better off with is a proper scale, and that is 1:50. Now, I don't want to get too bogged down in setting up title blocks and stuff like that. That might be for another day. But for now, just want to demonstrate that this piece of kit isn't just about the sort of nice stuff, which, the sort of coloured plans and what have you, and the ease of use. You can actually extract proper construction drawings that these can be built from. Subject to obviously a little bit more detail when it comes to maybe the colour coding of the walls and that sort of stuff, but not a bad starting point for what's probably been about half an hour's work. So that is absolutely brilliant. So that's the construction side of things. And then you would hit download, and then you've got the option of CAD, PDF, and JPEG and mix. I think is that just like loading them all. But it's great that you can export to CAD, PDF, and JPEG. And the PDF is a vectorized PDF as well, so it's lossless when you zoom in and out. And then the other option are floor plan drawings. Now, these aren't to scale in the same way that the construction ones are. So the construction ones are where you would issue them to a project team, a contractor, perhaps clients as well. The floor plan option is a little more diagrammatic, but I quite like it because it gives you the option to annotate. You can change that text, modifying the project info section. So I actually haven't put a title to the project yet, but you can add your own text as well. So if we just do like project 1, just for example, so you can add that stuff in. You can, annotate accordingly. Let me just get rid of that. So let's say we've got our project titled properly. And I like the way it gives us net floor area. And then what's nice is we've got the option to change it to full colour. And that's kind of the one I was talking about. That's not my cup of tea, that one, but I can see its uses. There's texture colour map, which sort of, it's kind of a hybrid of the kind of magazine-y style, but with architectural. My favourite though is wireframe. I won't get into any of the AI tools as well, because that's again for another day. There's so many things to get through, so we'll just keep it to the basics really for now. So the wireframe is more to do with or it more looks like the architectural sort of side of things. And then what's nice is you've got wall shadows and furniture shadows. So you could just focus on wall shadows like that. You could have none. So you've got, quite just a very architectural looking drawing. Or you could just throw a little bit of shadow on the furniture, or do both. I think both is nice. It's got that bit of depth to it. And then last but not least, oh yeah, there's the project info there. This is a scheme in the Baltic, so let's just call it Baltic Apartments, something like that. There we go. Again, snapping tools are all spot on. And then what I like about these is a series of these template color palettes. I just think they're absolutely brilliant. So let's just go for lake green. Look at that, the way it stylizes. It stylizes the whole thing. I would prefer still a white background, maybe a grey background, but then I do like how it stylizes the drawing itself. And then same again, you can download as an image or a PDF. So that's the drawings. Now it doesn't stop there. So in this little area here, you can actually produce animations of your project, and you can create perspective renders. So we're in a slightly different part of the software now, which is called the images and videos area. And what we want to do is we want to go to perspective view, and it gives you the option to select a room. And by doing that, it then drops you in the room at a decent kind of perspective level, eye level. And then this thing in the middle here, I think gives you, if you snap to it, it gives you a nice 2-point perspective projection as well. So with a 1300 eye height, we can lift and drop that. So the camera controls are quite good. We can also change with the field of view. So we can go to more of a wider lens, something like that. I do like the way they've got video templates as well. And then it's really as simple as hitting generate. And it takes a few minutes, and it produces, as you can see from some of the examples here, it produces a decent looking render with, again, for beginners, for complete beginners with very little knowledge of rendering. This is just such a great starting point for people. So we'll let that render, and then we'll come back when it's ready. That took about 90 seconds to produce the render, and look at that. Now, I don't think it's going to beat like a V-Ray or a Corona anytime soon, but I do think that is good enough for definitely for the time we've spent on it. The sunlight coming in, I think, is brilliant. The spotlights are very good, the way they're automatically lit and all that sort of stuff. We've got a nice, it's a 4K visual. It's 16:9, and you know what? You could download that, drop it into Photoshop. I think you get a little bit more out of it as well. So I've got to say that when people approach us for these sorts of videos and reviews and things, I'm always a bit wary. I don't want to be biased, because there is that kind of paid partnership element to it. But I would never commit to producing a video like this if I didn't actually think that the product was any good. And this, I probably haven't even done it justice with this video. There's loads of tools that I haven't even touched on. I do think that this will be a great tool for a lot of people. It's, as I say, it's more to do with the interior side, but you never know. They might expand the library to do more exterior elements, maybe landscape and all that sort of stuff. The potential's there. But yeah, hope you've enjoyed the video, and it's absolutely worth looking into. And the guys at Kuhan have gave us like a discounted link, if you like. So in the description below, I think you can get 70% off a certain period of time. So check that in the link below, check the website, have a little try yourself. Let me know in the comments if you've ever used it before, or if if you like it or you don't. You know what I mean? It's good to have those sort of discussions. But yeah, I think it's a really impressive bit of kit. I'll see you in the next one.